In the world of combat sports, rivalries and heated exchanges are not uncommon, often fueled by the desire to prove oneself as the best in the business. One such rivalry that has recently taken a new turn involves Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather. The latest development in this ongoing feud saw Roy Jones Jr. publicly criticizing Mayweather's training footage, deeming it pathetic.
Is Floyd Mayweather top 5 of
No,
all time?
not in my book, no.
This sentiment, voiced by many of Mayweather's critics, questions the quality of opposition on his flawless 50-0 record.
Do you respect the Floyd 50-0, or is it like?
You gotta respect anything a person does and stay undefeated that long. So I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it a 50-0 that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter all time? Nah.
While he defeated legends like Oscar de la Hoya, Miguel Cotto, and a young Canelo Alvarez, detractors often argue he fought them at opportune moments, past their absolute physical primes. The target of this renewed scrutiny, Roy Jones Jr., is becoming very desperate to force a fight with Floyd Mayweather, and this time he has mocked Floyd Mayweather's training footage.
On the outside, touch him with the jab. Touch him with the jab.
It seems Jones Jr., a man who was once considered superhuman, is now baiting Mayweather into what could be a massive exhibition bout. From the look of things, Floyd might be open to fighting his annual exhibition match against Roy Jones. While it's not clear who his opponent is, Roy Jones is doing everything he can to make it happen. Talking about Floyd Mayweather's training sessions in preparation for an upcoming fight, Roy Jones said, "We know Floyd has no offense since his injury. He punches like a kid and his punches can't do any harm. So, I don't feel threatened by whatever he does. I'm just okay the way I am to deal with him." Many who had thought Roy Jones Jr. was joking about a possible fight against Floyd Mayweather have seen how intentional he is and how sure he is of a victory over the boxing legend. Mayweather, never one to let a slight go unanswered, retaliated in typical money fashion by plastering his social media with a highlight reel of Roy Jones Jr.'s most devastating knockout losses. This public shaming drew opinions from across the boxing world, including from another legend, Bernard the Alien Hopkins.
I think it was more of a show of a man vulnerability at that moment when Roy was fighting Tarver, I believe, or Glenn Johnson. Yeah. One thing that I've learned over the years, and I was
Days ago, Seconds Out shared a YouTube video featuring a candid interview between Radio Raheem and Bernard Hopkins. When asked who would win in a hypothetical matchup between Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather, the alien offered a measured take. It all depends on who throws more punches. Raheem then brought up the 48-year-old's recent antics, sitting in front of a screen watching a reel of Jones Jr.'s knockout losses, and asked the 58-year-old boxer whether he found it disrespectful. Reflecting on the moment, Hopkins shared a broader lesson he's learned over the years.
I think it was more of a show of a man vulnerability.
Despite losing to Roy Jones Jr. in 1993 and failing to capture the vacant IBF World Middleweight title, Bernard Hopkins showed respect for his former rival.
Think about Roy and Floyd going back and forth. I just talked to him. Roy was really worked up about it. What do you think, Andre?
They fighters, man.
Andre, we're going this way.
They fighters.
Isn't that the biggest fight in boxing today? Like, if that would have really happened, you think it could happen?
Watch out, Andre can still throw hands now. Don't mess with him like that.
They fighters, bro.
His perspective is particularly poignant, as he was once the undisputed king of the middleweight division for a decade, a reign that began after his initial loss to Jones. Hopkins praised Jones Jr.'s unique, almost unrepeatable style and stated, to close out the interview, Raheem asked Hopkins what he would say if both Roy Jones Jr. and Money Mayweather were in the room listening to him. Hopkins didn't hesitate. Make sure you get paid if you fight. And just like Bernard Hopkins, Oscar de la Hoya also weighed in on the matter. Even internet sensation-turned boxer Jake Paul had a strong opinion. When Jake Paul was interviewed by Fight Hype some days ago and was asked his opinion about what Mayweather did in response to Jones Jr.'s comments, he didn't mince words. Paul said of Mayweather,
Of his fights getting knocked out, what do you think about that?
Nah, Roy's a legend, bro. You can't come for Roy like that.
When asked who he thought was better in their primes between Mayweather and Jones Jr., Paul added,
Now, who do you think was better in their prime? Roy or Floyd?
I would say Roy was better during the prime, but Floyd just stayed consistent.
It sounds like Paul would side with Roy Jones Jr. instead of Floyd Mayweather in this hypothetical fight. This is the crux of the debate. Floyd's career is a monument to consistency and risk management. Roy's prime was a supernova of athletic brilliance, a spectacle of speed and power so overwhelming that he remains the only boxer in history to begin his career at junior middleweight and go on to win a heavyweight world title. Roy Jones explains why he and Floyd were so different.
We stood for two different things. He was a social media blowout. He blew it away. He was a good man. That fit his character because he could do it, and do things the way he did it. He was smarter. I wanted to play King of the Hill. He didn't care to play King of the Hill. He wanted to play King of the...
Floyd Mayweather Jr. is one of 15 boxers to retire with an undefeated record and has the second most wins of that short list of stars. Still, Roy Jones Jr. does not consider him a top 5 boxer of all time and recently explained why.
Here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison.
Amid this debate, Jones Jr.'s former opponent Antonio Tarver suggests the answer is clear. The former light heavyweight champion who handed Superman 2 of his most definitive losses claims Jones Jr. has the edge over money. Turning in a shocking knockout win in their 2004 rematch, Tarver claims that when it comes down to resumes, Jones Jr.'s unbeatable factor when compared with the smaller Mayweather may get him the nod when comparing both directly. Looking back at Jones Jr.'s career and their spectacular trilogy, Tarver added,
"Nobody said that. When they were both occupying boxing at the same time, Floyd wasn't sniffing his jockstrap. And I'm talking about Pretty Boy Floyd and Roy. You can't even argue that because we were there. I was there watching both of them. No one mentioned Floyd with Roy. It's not like they're two different eras and you can't compare them. They were being compared."
Regardless of who had the greatest career, though, there's no denying that both boxers contributed to the sport's success in their own way. Despite that, it appears Roy Jones Jr. has turned the situation into a personal vendetta. And amid goading from Mayweather about his career losses, including his defeat to Tarver, Jones Jr. has made quite the offer to the outspoken icon.
Roy, you know there's one question on my mind, and I appreciate you answering it. Does Floyd Mayweather want to smoke with Roy Jones Jr.?
Floyd Mayweather, anybody else that wants to smoke with Roy Jones, so damn well they can get in on first. Has there ever been a question? That's one thing that's different from Roy. That's the difference between Roy and Floyd. Roy picked who he fought. Roy fought whoever he fought. He was elected. So, don't get me fucking.
Seeing footage of him suffering knockout losses littered across Mayweather's social media in recent weeks, Jones Jr. understandably did not take kindly to the Grand Rapids star's goading. So much so that he's now ruled out a rumored exhibition match, instead challenging Mayweather to lace up the gloves in a professional fight. While this feud simmers, another ghost from Mayweather's past has re-emerged. Retiring 8 years ago, Mayweather recently fueled rumors of a spectacular return to the ring in the form of a rematch fight with incoming WBC title challenger Manny Pacquiao. And into this mix steps a name that binds generations of boxing fans, Sugar Ray. The comparisons to Sugar Ray Leonard are inevitable when discussing all-time greats.
Let him move around and do what he want to do, he's going to beat you because he's very explosive and he's very mean.
I was going to say mean.
To me, people don't give him enough credit. People always say, well, Floyd would beat Sugar. No, baby, Floyd is not as near as mean as Sugar was.
You don't think you would have beat him?
How? How you gonna keep him off of him? Sugar is a dog. Just because his name's Sugar don't mean nothing.
Interestingly, Manny Pacquiao is ready for the rematch too, and he's gunning for it. When Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. entered the ring at the MGM Grand Garden Arena on May 2, 2015, they did so taking part in the richest fight in boxing history. 5 years of marination had led to a commercial bonanza, as 4.6 million Americans purchased the fight on pay-per-view, and the live gate, money from ticket sales, was a staggering $72,198,500. Total revenue for the event soared past $600 million, a number that remains a benchmark in combat sports. The event was gigantic, but ultimately the fight in the ring was a disappointment for many. Mayweather used his defensive prowess to box to a comfortable unanimous decision victory over Pacquiao to unify 3 welterweight belts. Pacquiao, however, tells a different story.
After the fight, right after the fight, I went to the hospital and got operated with my
Yeah, you got an operation, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you posted a picture of...
Really hurt.
Was he better or worse than you thought he was?
No, that's his style. Like, I knew it. But the thing is, I'm expecting that I won the fight because he didn't throw a lot of punches. I throw a lot of punches.
He claims he entered the fight with a significant, undisclosed shoulder injury. They say old habits die hard. And more than a decade later, Pacquiao, 46, is back at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, fighting for a welterweight title against WBC champion Mario Barrios, with fresh talks of a Mayweather fight seemingly underway.
It was just talks and rumors all the time about potentially Manny Pacquiao and the Mayweather 2. Was there any truth to that, or is that still kind of up in the air of maybe potentially happening?
It's up to him. If he come out to retirement, we'll have a Mayweather Pacquiao too.
Would you do an exhibition with him, or would you potentially entertain an exhibition with someone like maybe a Conor McGregor?
No, I don't like exhibition. If Mayweather is my opponent, I don't like exhibition. Like, I want a fight. Like, there's a decision.
Of course, I'd be interested, Pacquiao told Uncrowned the Ariel Helwani show on Wednesday about a potential second fight with Mayweather. First, Pacquiao has a stern test in front of him on Saturday in the form of Barrios.
Manny, with the way that you performed tonight, did you feel like this was enough to coax Floyd Mayweather out and maybe you guys get a rematch right here in this same building? Do you feel like that this version of you beats the version of Floyd Mayweather that exists today?
You know, it's hard to talk about the fighter who retired already. If he comes out and goes sign the contract and we'll fight. I mean, let's fight again if he wants.
Barrios, 30, is a champion in his prime. El Azteca has been overlooked by opponents before, but each time he has proved his caliber. Barrios notably earned respect from the boxing community after a competitive fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis in 2021. The welterweight champion followed that up with a loss to Keith Thurman. However, he has since embarked on a 3-fight win streak, including a victory over Yordenis Ugas, who sent Pacquiao into retirement in 2021. Pacquiao was supposed to square off with Errol Spence Jr. in August 2021, but Spence Jr. was forced out with a torn retina just 10 days prior to the event. After training and sparring for Spence, a southpaw, Pacquiao accepted the Cuban Orthodox Ugas as a late replacement and was beaten on points. Despite having won titles in 8 different weight classes and being a shoo-in for boxing's Hall of Fame, Pacquiao wasn't satisfied with his exit from the sport and wanted to return to his lifelong passion. Pacquiao wasn't able to return to the ring straight away, though, as the Filipino boxer was still in the midst of his Senate campaign. As the common link, legendary boxer Manny Pacquiao has entered the brewing feud between Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather with a sharp, no-nonsense statement. The controversy reignited after Jones Jr., during an appearance on the All the Smoke Fight podcast, praised Sugar Ray Leonard over Mayweather. In response, Mayweather retaliated by sharing multiple knockout clips of Jones Jr., reigniting tensions. When asked about this public squabble, Pacquiao chose diplomacy, preferring unity over comparisons, something he didn't profess in another interview. He told Fight Hype,
"Fight in their prime."
Look, in their prime, I mean, I got to give it up to both guys, but I mean, look, we're retired, man. Let's keep this fighting thing for the young bucks, you know?
But you fought Floyd, you fought him, so you know you know firsthand, you know his talent. Sure. But Roy in his prime, when he was like Superman before the knockouts, before everything.
The Filipino's intervention reflects his stance that comparisons dilute the sport's essence. This stance on humility brings up the often cited contrast in personalities. This is a powerful point. Julio Cesar Chavez actually started his career 89-01 before suffering his first defeat. a run of dominance that makes Mayweather's 50-0 seem less mythical in comparison.
They didn't know that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter all the time. Nah. Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go ever top that? No.
Yet even after that iconic clash, Pacquiao remains grounded, focusing on family, faith, and philanthropy. Unlike Mayweather, the Asian boxer recently suggested, who is boastful and materialistic, saying, "I pity him for choosing wealth over spiritual wealth." The Filipino, at the time gearing up for a comeback at age 46 against Mario Barrios on July 19, 2025, was not just preparing in the ring, he was also showcasing leadership in the sports narrative. His calm but firm remarks to Jones Jr. highlight his role as a bridge between boxing's past and future, demonstrating that sportsmanship transcends competition. As Pacquiao returns to the spotlight, he rejects public comparisons, urging focus on inspiring fans. He distances himself from materialistic motivations, reinforcing his spiritual and philanthropic views. Finally, his measured stance elevates him not only as a fighter, but a guiding voice in boxing's ongoing legacy. But when pressed, the legend's true opinion came to light. Manny Pacquiao, who fought and drew against Mario Barrios on Saturday night for the World Boxing Council welterweight world title, was asked about who the better fighter is between Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather.
I'm Roy Jones.
I'll follow you. Roy Jones. You know Roy Jones, right?
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Let me get a shout out for Team Locked In. You agree with me? Roy Jones is in his prime? Man.
During a media scrum, he responded, "Roy Jones Jr. You know Roy Jones Jr., right? Fast footwork, strong." Attention then shifted to whether a prime Captain Hook would have knocked out Money, to which the Filipino replied, "I think so." This is a bombshell statement from the only man who has looked across the ring at Floyd Mayweather under the brightest lights. However, while an all-American showdown would undeniably excite, reports have emerged that the $50 fighter could go down another route. Before eventually discussing in detail, legendary boxer Manny Pacquiao entered the brewing feud between Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather with a sharp, no-nonsense statement.
You gotta think, this in around between round 13 and 14, I think. Angelo Dundee said, "You're blowing it, son." Sugar Ray Leonard guy went there and put these things on Tommy Hearns, who knocked Roberto Duran cold with one shot. So Tommy hit you just like G-Man. You've been hit. So for Sugar to go out there and do that, man, they don't give Sugar enough credit. You understand me?
He's a great finisher.
The controversy reignited after Jones Jr., during an appearance on the All the Smoke Fight podcast, praised Sugar Ray Leonard over Mayweather.
If you see it coming like straight right hand to the body, you can kind of brace for it. But when he's stepping to the side, slipping, coming back with something, that's unexpected. That stuff, it gets you a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. And like I said, how many rounds did you do with Floyd Mayweather?
Today I did 2. Last week I did 3.
Okay. So what would you say is his, you already said his timing is one of his most effective weapons. What else would you say is his most effective weapon in there?
Most effective weapon is setting you into a trap, sucking you in, and he counters you, just like he does with every...
The conversation always circles back to Mayweather's style, a defensive, cerebral puzzle that few could solve. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace.